Hey guys, Brian from workshopaddict.com. Looking at some different items in our shop. We have a plasma cutter here that we need to get an extension cord for. We've got an RV sitting in the corner, so that kind of has me looking at different cables or extension cords to plug in for that. And also have a generator at home where I moved where I plug in, so I needed a little bit longer cord than what I've made in the past. So I did a little research on buying a pre-made cord, which I have two of them right here, and I also have some of the cords that I've made for my welder through Home Depot. Now, the kicker in it is, what's better made and what's more expensive? What's the better way to go? And there's two things. One, with the welder box, I don't mind that you get a metal box. I can drag it, throw it around, but I feel a little bit like this is a good quality that you can move around, but I do like the weather tight connections that you would get if you were to buy a cord. Now I'm gonna go through some quick things. I found a place called Boge RV, that's Prime on Amazon, and it seemed to have some decent prices, so I ordered up some cords. So if you're looking at a generator cord, you can get them in 20 feet or 40 feet. They're both 10 gauge. They're an SJTW cord, so they're easily moved around. There's no issue with them becoming plastic or anything like that. Like I said, they're both 10 gauge. The 40 foot is $67.99 and the 20 foot is $44.99. Now I went to Home Depot and just started pricing out the ends, and the male end was $19.99 and the female end was $39.99. Right there, just those two ends are basically the cost of the 40 footer. That kind of threw me as I'm gonna try it, because from there it was $2.71 per foot for the electrical cable. Now the electrical cable was an SOOW, I believe, and it's a black, and it's a little bit more pliable, and it's probably better. Now these two cords are both made in China. The yellow ones that I have here, those are the Amazon ones. Now when you look at everything else, the Leviton stuff here is made in Mexico from what I could see, and the cabling was 50-50 of China, Mexico, and I guess there was two that I found in the US that were in that whole Home Depot reel. Most of it was China or Mexico, which was interesting again. So if you're gonna say, hey, I want made in the USA stuff, you might pay a lot more than that, or you might have to get out of Home Depot to get that cabling, which I know you can. I don't know where I got this cable from. This is made in the USA here. Their welder cable stuff that they have, the same Boge RV, is interesting. They have a 8 gauge wire, 25 foot, $61.89. 40 foot is $82.95. That's not bad, because you can't even come close to buying a 50 amp plug or socket for any of that. So that price there is really good, and it seems to make sense because you don't have to wire this stuff up. If you're not an electrician and you're not comfortable with some of this stuff, I know it can be intimidating. Once you learn it though, it's pretty simple. There's options out there that are less expensive than making your own, and that was never an option to me before. I always said, okay, here's what I need, went and bought it, made my own cord, just made sense. Now I'm gonna take a step back and start looking at what's worth what, especially when I can get a little bit more high visibility. As you lay this black stuff in the grass or anything, people can step on it and move it around, or and it fits in a driveway. Worse, they'll drive over it. Extension cords and cords like that are not cheap, and these are not meant to be driven over, no matter what they are. So it's an interesting way of looking at different things into what to buy. If you're into RVs, they do have this 30 amp, it's a 120 cord that goes out into 15 amp receptacles. I wish this was 20 amp so that you could actually use the full portion of it. But either way, I guess you could get some sort of adapter to take your 20 amp male plug and plug it into here. This is something I bought for camping, and I think will work out quite well. If you're into RVs, they don't have camping cables that would go like 30 amp and plug into your RV. I wish they did too, because the prices on those are pretty good compared to what you would pay at an RV store. Tell me in the comments, what do you guys do? Have you guys always built your own like I have, or are you starting to look at what's out there from Amazon, or have you found other places to purchase your own cords. Very curious on that. Again, all this info will be down below. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a great day.